because I think players play differently, and you see their kind of intentions and their true self when they're, chance to go home. I was talking about earlier today with City 2. Even if City 2 doesn't win against North Texas next week, you're still getting a rich experience for these players, because that playoff experience, it might seem cliche, but it helps,
Oh yeah.
because to be able to learn and to play under pressure like that, it makes it seem like you've already been there, because you have already been there, and when you go back in the future.
Yeah, and pretty much that was the painful experience that we had with the other team. They were used to playoffs, and our team wasn't, and it
Uh-huh.
showed.
Exactly.
Ooh, looks like LA's defense might have to wake up a little bit. That's two clear opportunities.
That back line of number 25 Shanat and number 33 Long so far not doing great. And Hollingshed at the I think that's how you say his name, Hollingshed, on the left back, number 24. That's where they've been kind of getting all their chances. He's been kind of shaky so far,
Yeah, he should have put
because
that even better than
this,
what he did.
yeah, I mean they're just getting chances inside outside the box. Um, Lucky that he missed that shot wide right.
And much better than LAFC at this moment. So
Yeah.
let's see what.
All right, did the corner already happen for you? I just saw that they went out of bounds. They're gonna get the corner. I'm at
Nope.
13:50.
I'm 14-11.
Okay, not bad, not bad. My streaming service is a little worse, I guess.
Eh, it,
You got the premium.
yeah, I got a little lucky on that one. Oh, and
You
yeah,
got
it's
taken
been
at
a
number
little bit extra.
19. Mogus. Let's see this. He's been their specialist so far this season. I would watch. I'm just going to predict. I'm watching far post. Okay, they're passing it. Never mind. I was totally wrong.
I'll,
This is the
I'll,
rotation we've seen all season. Oh my goodness!
I'll
You
keep
put
my
it high.
reaction to oh, ow, how.
No, you're good. If you tell me what happens, that's fine with me. If you're ahead, you're ahead. But that was close. Number 24, almost. He just put it right over the bar.
I see all these funds. So it's still 56-44 possession for LAFC.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the key for LA. If they can control possession and keep that kind of slanted, they're gonna be successful. Unless their defensive line, unless their back line just completely crumbles, which could very well happen. We don't know until it happens. I mean, LAFC has invested so much in their strikers and offensive midfielders that that's the one part where you can get them. I'm gonna look up something real quick, but I mean, their back line is where you can capitalize 100%.
Oh yeah, and I think that's what we were talking with MLS Move. Also, that in the MLS it does shows you where most of the team are investing in midfielders and forwards, and defense is almost like the afterthought almost.
Yeah,
So it's not where the investment
yeah.
is
On the
going at
season,
the moment.
yeah. So on the season, the midfield has 5 players with a FOTMOB rating over 7.5, which is green,
Not
which would
bad.
be above average, and then their back line only has 1. Uh, so I mean, we saw that with City. You have Marcel Hartel coming in, you have Cedric Toyshirt, you have Simon Betcher, and Klaus coming back from his MCL sprain.
Right.
But you still have Thomas Ostrak out, who was really a defensive midfielder if you look at it. You had Durkin out for a bit, who's kind of more offensive, but then you have Joachim Nilsson coming back, and you have Giannis Horn, and you have Michael Wenzel in City too. You have all these options, but the combinations just feel like it's kind of leading to the same result almost, where it's just the back line's still the shakiest part. I feel like you need one guy that can anchor that in the offseason.
Yes, and it looks like Charlotte is still trying to figure that out too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh,
Orlando is
this is
such a strong team. I think they'll go far this season or this postseason. They're so complete. I feel like they're really good in every facet.
looks like Bonga's feeling it a little bit.
Oh, only missed by 50 feet there. I guess my cat Mister's watching the game too.
Hey, the more the merrier,
He's
right?
chilling. The more the merrier, I guess. I don't know if he's got any stats for us though. He might just be just
Oh,
watching for fun.
Giro. Right.
Giroud had a down year, honestly.
For hoops?
Yeah, Oliver Giroud.
Oh
He
yeah. I I'm start. I will give him the benefit of the doubt for the moment. I want to see
yeah.
how he does when he has a preseason for the with LAFC.
Oh, 100%.
That will kind of
100%.
help me determine if he's closer to vacation and retirement, or he's
Yeah.
actually going for a trophy.
Yeah, he is nearing the end. He's 38, so I'm excited to see what he can do because, again, I feel like what's really important for most teams, if you can have a guy that is a leader in every facet. So you have a guy like Shaw Klaus in the front line who is a veteran. He's a leader, right? You
Yeah.
have midfielder, you can have a leader there. Leader in the back line, and you have a good leader goalkeeper. Giroud really brings that to the front line, but I think again you need a piece that is a solid anchor in the back. The only guy that was really good during the season on the back line was Long. He had a thought off of 7.0, so not great, not horrible, but I think like again that's just going to be the point. If they can hold strong, I don't see a way that they can lose. That Charlotte game was a complete domination.
Yeah, we
The
watched part
score
of it,
doesn't
but
score. The score might not show as much, but it was definitely a tough one for Charlotte. We've already seen two 5-0 victories. Already 3 shutouts in the playoffs so far.
yeah,
You had one in
I don't know if
Charlotte.
that's a good look for the league. That well, I think
Maybe
one
not.
is showing that teams are scoring at will. If it's
Uh,
just the offensive chances that are greater, or is the defense is bad? But
yeah,
also at the same time, is it highlighting that the defense for most of the teams are
yeah,
not ready?
maybe. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think a lot of these transfers are becoming more offensive transfers. So I think there is a lack of defense a lot in the league because you see clean sheets and you see these kind of things. But a lot of the time, if you look at the clean sheets, like for example, when LAFC played City, they beat them 1-0, right?
Yeah,
A lot of these clean sheets weren't necessarily because the defense was really good. It might be because the other team's,
missed
striking was not very
opportunities.
good. I think, I mean, that was kind of the story of the season for City during the middle patch with when Carnell got fired and Hack took over. It was just we had opportunities and then they were missing them, right? Or we were getting opportunities and we're just getting unlucky.
Yeah,
But I
so,
think there's definitely a side of luck to that.
yeah, those chores pretty much killed us.
Yeah, 100%. I'm really excited to see that RSL Minnesota game on the 29th on Tuesday. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah,
I really think Real Salt Lake could go very far in playoffs
I
if
hope
they
it
can
crash and burn.
keep doing what they. I got a colleague who's a big fan and he's helped me out a bit. So shout out Matthew Casey, but I gotta root for them a little bit because I am.
Okay, fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But so now let's see. Oh, and then yeah, they haven't shown any shots of Vinny, so I guess he's a lot calmer at this moment. But I think he should probably be the happiest of the two coaches at the moment.
Definitely. I mean, we're still seeing 60-40 possession to LAFC. Um, the top 2 players right now, Christian Oliveira and uh, Bogues. Is
Boogers?
that how you say
Bogus?
it?
Yes.
Bogus. Pardon me. That those 2 guys are currently the highest rated on FotMob. So I think that kind of shows first 20 minutes we've just seen Vancouver has had flashes, right? And that's what they did all season. They've had flashes, and then a lot of the time they capitalize on them because they had one of the easier schedules of the year compared to some of like the other teams like City. They had a lot of bad team, they're really good teams and bad times. When a lot of guys were injured, they were playing really good teams. But I think Vancouver, they're a team where if those flashes they can get, they can capitalize on those chances, they're gonna succeed. But you can't bank on the other team making a mistake. I think that's a really really shaky way to go about it.
All right, and we have comment from Daniel saying that the Cincy and NYFC game should be a good one to watch.
Oh, 100%, dude. That's going to be a great game.
And I guess
That's one of my
which
yeah.
team would you go for if you had to choose between them two?
I would definitely go Cincy. I think Cincinnati has been. I mean, I think earlier in the season they were when they were first in the what's the most points award? I forget.
The Supporter Shield.
Supporter Shield. When they were first in the Supporter Shield, ranking above Miami, I think they were at their peak. But I think NYFC is. I think we're looking at Cincy kind of is plateauing a little bit with the way that they're playing, which is still good. They're playing at a good pace, right? But I think New York FC, I think you're seeing them kind of
Just
expand on the things they were doing.
Yeah.
I think they are. I think it's possible because it's not always, we don't see stuff like in the MLB right now. It's Dodgers, Yankees, right? Two best teams in the league. We don't see that often. It's the teams that get hot late in the playoffs that are going to win. It's momentum, right? So I think if New York can find that momentum, I think any team could beat Cincy. But I think, again, we're talking about hoping the other team makes a mistake. And that's a really risky way to go about playing in the playoffs or playing in any sport, right? And I think 9 out of 10 times Cincy wins that. Cincinnati wins that series. So I got Cincinnati there.
I think I probably will say Cincy just because of how they've shown throughout the entire season. But I've been proved wrong that the playoff is pretty much a reset button, and it shows
it is.
That, forget about what happened in the past 3 months or 4.
Every team needs the same amount of wins to win it all, unless you're in the wild card. But I think it's the same game you've been playing all season, but it's so much different at the same time because of that added pressure. I talked to Makai Joyner and Brendan McSorley the other day, their last week, and they were talking about, because they're so young, it's tough, especially for Makai Joyner, 17 years old, and he went to Spain to play with the national team. Like this is stuff that is this is stuff that you imagine as a kid, right? You're like, I want to do this, and he's living out his dreams, but it's so hard to be mentally sound and that stuff when you have so much stuff going on. But he is, and it's so impressive because this kid is so young and he's handling the stuff so well. But it just shows that mentality is so much of the game.
Oh yeah.
Because if you think you can win, it doesn't mean you're gonna win, but it can give you that extra step. It can give you that extra pep in your step,
Yeah, I'm not sure where he gets that from, but he's carrying pretty much the team almost on his shoulder, scoring wise.
Yeah, he got a brace today.
And yeah, so it's like you almost expect him to score, but you just don't know when.
Yeah.
And it's been happening, I guess, the past 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, for sure.
And that call-up was definitely a big one. And he didn't even drop any performance from there. He just came back and just went right back to
kept doing what he was doing. Jeez, that was a laser pass. About 60 yards just effortlessly. Vancouver, it's tough for Vancouver to get through the box right now.
That might be a VAR check.
Let me see this. I'll react to what you just reacted to. Okay, counter. Same thing you said.
In there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a handball. 100%. But is it okay? So it hit his hand, but is it a handball? That's the thing. But
it completely stopped the ball too from moving. It was not like it was a deflection. Yeah. It was like he fell and stopped the ball, got up, and moved forward.
Are they ruling that net? I've seen a lot. Believe it or not, I've seen refs rule that natural before. In city games.
Oh, that's a handball. His hand was
USL.
Extended out. I don't know if it was because of when it hit his arm, but no, he knows.
Yeah.
VR has to, because you see the motion, but now the question is, did it hit the shoulder? and then he moved
Yeah.
back,
So
or the
another
hand.
thing they're looking at
Ooh.
is that his arm did go backwards, right? So that tells a story in its own
Oh,
because
I don't know.
when your arm's a little bit more stiff, it seems as though you're trying to block it. But when your arm is a little bit limp, it's kind of like you're not expecting it, right?
Yeah, but that one looks. I don't know. This one is gonna be
It's on
hard
his
to give because it's almost like turning his body, but it still
yeah.
touches his hand.
Uh-huh.
And
I mean, is this enough to overturn it? They have to find enough to be like, okay, we got to go back and then do this.
I will.
It's gonna be tough.
I won't spoil it to you, but
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
it's a PK. He called it.
It's a PK.
Yes.
I mean, it's the right call.
Yes, because I think it's one of those things where if the ball hits your hand and it's like a deflection, maybe you can kind of debate that. But when it completely stops the ball from from reaching the goal, that's kind of hard to say it's not a handball.
It's a different story. And it's rough, too, because that ball was going straight to the goalkeeper.
Right.
That it wasn't going to the corner. That was going straight to Takaoka. I mean, it's rough.
Situation on that part.
It truly is. And now you got who's taking this?
Buanga.
Oof.
So unless something goes wrong.
Well, to be fair, Takaoka is an elite goalkeeper. He had a lot of good plays. I'll say this: when he's on, he's really good. When he's off, he is probably Ben Lunt level of skill. City fans know that one.
Yep, it's there.
Hey, no, Ben Lunt. Hey, no. I'm saying this. He is a pro at what he does, and he's getting paid for playing soccer is amazing. Yeah, that's him. That's.
Yeah, he went
again.
Took him to the other side. So yeah.
If you're counting a flip, okay, you're not Makai Joyner. All right, if you're counting on the other team to make mistakes, it's tough to come back from that deficit. I don't see LAFC losing this lead. We'll see.
They've shown a little bit of that. What was it the last time against LA Galaxy?
Yeah.
But that was just regular season, so I guess we'll know within the next 5 to 10 minutes how that game. But it's definitely
it's how you respond.
First game.
Yeah. 100%. It's a liver shot. It takes the wind out of you. Now it's just how Vancouver responds. If they could respond with energy, and if they can respond with a pep in their step, then that's really good. If they respond with sluggishness, then that's tough because, pardon me, it'd be more of a punch in the gut for them to score right after LAFC scores. Because then they're like, LAFC is like, hey, we got the lead. Oh my goodness, they just scored again. Yep, you can so easily turn the tide here. It's just, can they? Because they can, but will they?
Yeah, and as we all know, the score doesn't really matter. If LA Galaxy can score now 10 goals if they want, it's just a win.
It'd definitely be a demoralizer, but it only counts for one win.
Yeah.
Unless it's the regular season, it's a tiebreaker. Goal differential.
That's different discussion.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it looks like Danielle just said that it looks like NYCFC really came back after City beat them 2-0. So maybe we are to blame for their rise to the playoffs, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, they did. I'll tell you this. I think it's tough for a team that starts off like that with the roster that they have to do what they did, but they've shown perseverance already, and that's what you need in the playoffs. I mean, that's it. You get down, but it's not like you get down, you get knocked down. How much can you get back up? Can you get back up to win the series? Can you get back up to win the game? Can you get back up to score a goal or just to get a chance? I think it shows a lot about a team's character and a lot about their team's motto and their culture, the way that they react to losses.
Yeah, so just a goldfish mind. You just forget about the
gotta have
previous game
a short
and just
memory.
go it.
Yeah, gotta.
It looks like Soccer Zombie's putting on Twitter. He's telling everyone secret that if you want to have players to sign your front of your shirt, you have to wear it backward.
That's true. You got to show the name because if you turn around and show them your name, you might just like lose them. You know, they might just walk away. Also, I do like so I have a jersey back here. My cat's actually sitting on it. It's a Jordan Love jersey. I'm a Packers fan. I never wear it backwards unless I need like a rally, like a rally cap. It's my
Right.
rally jersey. But yeah, I respect it. I think if you want to get a jersey signed, that's stuff. I've never gotten a jersey signed, so I wouldn't know much about it.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to do it, but why not?
I mean, if it works, it works.
I mean, you
Oh,
get
geez, look at that stat.
Kojima.
Yeah.
Oh, let's
So
see.
LAFC 18-2-1 when scoring first, and Vancouver is 1-11-3 when conceding first, which is tough.
Yeah,
That's tough to come back from.
and Fatmav is not giving them too much credit, also because they're all in the 6'2", 6'5", and
That
Buonga.
was on the what's it called? That was on the FS1 thing.
These are the fun
Showed a little drop
parts. So
down
let's
menu.
see.
So we're seeing passes percentage is about the same. LAFC's passed a little bit more just because they had more possession.
Yep.
Shot on target is 3-1 in LAFC's favor. So we've seen more traffic on Takaoka than we've seen on the LAFC side. But again, like City 2 and City played this year. If you guys, the little analogy for if City fans are watching, it we've seen a lot this past season with all the missed shots and all the bad plays and the losses. They always had sparks, right? They were a counter puncher,
Right.
and that's exactly what Vancouver is. So that can always happen. You never knew when Shaw Class was going to go on a run. You never knew when Edward Leuven was going to get a free kick from 30 yards out to go top corner. These are guys that are spark plugs, and you never know when they're gonna go off.
Yeah, it looks like now L is doing a high press, surprisingly.
That might be they might have saw something in film where Vancouver might be a little bit more aggressive towards the end of the half. I'm not sure. I'm not against it. I think if it works, it works. Again, I mean, Vancouver's had a tough time penetrating the LAFC's half of the pitch. Once they get to the circle, I think it's just been really hard for them to get past and to keep possession.
Yeah, your best
Because we've seen
offense
passes
is
to the outside.
typically your best defense, and since I
Yeah,
guess
that's
they
true.
don't have a great of a defense, I guess that's their way of
Yeah.
holding. But looks like what a free kick is going to happen on here.
Did a couple fouls consecutively for MLAFC, trying to be a little bit physical back because Vancouver's been matching their energy. Gosh, that Texas City game is going to be very fun. North
Yeah,
Texas.
it's very tempting.
It'll be a shootout in my opinion. It'll be just like goal after goal. I think that's my prediction.
Yeah, I
High
think
scoring.
the defense. I think the defense will have to really show if they're ready for a final.
Yeah.
That, in my opinion, that was supposed to be the final.
Yeah. I mean, Pierce played great today.
Yes.
Earlier on the right back. Wenzel played all right. He and Jay Reed made that one big mistake to let in the goal, but other than that, I think those guys, again, like you said, they're going to need to step up. And if they don't, they don't. That's just the conversation. All of this is you could have the namesake. This applies to this game too. You could have the namesake. You could be Lionel Messi with Miami, but if you don't capitalize on stuff, that doesn't matter. You
Yep.
could be someone that no one's ever heard of, and if you capitalize on chances and you create chances and score, and produce for your team, then that's all that matters. And there's guys that come up every postseason and do that, and they're kind of like little sneaky dark horses.
Yeah, that's how you earn your check. Oh, so do you guys think that Hack as a head coach this week? That's the $1 million question that everyone is wondering.
I Okay, I'll stand by this.
Mhm.
Personally, I told you this earlier. I think they should keep Hack. I think John Hackworth was. I think the things that happened. If you look at the games that he played or the games that he managed, right, and the
Right.
games that City had after that Vancouver choke loss, and Carnell got fired, he took over. I really don't see anything that Hackworth did wrong per se, right? I think the people that he put in the lineup, the things that he did, I mean, on paper, you win most of those games, right? It's all about execution. And at the end of the day, he can't handle what the players do on the field. But I think especially with, City 2 players, like you have Indian Vassilev, guys that have spent time down in City 2 with John Hackworth, that's such a rich experience. The experience is so rich in this game, right? John Hackworth said he's known people since they were teenagers in
Yeah.
some of these senses. And I think that relationship is so important because a coach relationship with a player is not unlike anything else in sports, right? It's a dynamic, but it's also a partnership. So if you have one side of that, right, where the coach is scouted this player, and that's it, and the player doesn't talk to the coach at all before they are the coach, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough for them to transition, right? And
Oh yeah.
cities had a transition this year, right? And I think that showed how hard it was on the players. India Vassilev and Roman Berkey were saying that we think this is our fault. If we didn't choke that lead, he wouldn't have been fired. Like, I think a lot of it comes with, I think change can be good, but change is hard. And do they need that change right now? I don't think so. I think this roster could win upwards of 15 games next season, and that I think that's the truth in my opinion.
Well, they've shown that too, but also it's since he coached CD2 as well, and all of those first team players that first year were CD2 players, so they
Hmm.
already had that relationship there, and
Yeah.
knowing that Hack was also the, I guess, director of coaching, so it's not like he was completely out the picture when he took that position this year. He was still working with the coaches from pretty much all the teams within City. So I think
Yeah.
for me, it's like almost like one of those toss up where he's he's always been there. He's had his hands on everything, but does he want to be the coach? And will he have to kind of give that the rest of the roles to someone else? Because he
Yeah.
can't really do both
Uh huh.
and
I
being
get that. That's another
successful for
side
that.
to it. That's another side to it because it's not just if Lutz wants him, if it's if he wants to do it.
Right.
And in my opinion, I think I would say from what I know about it, I think he would. That's me looking at from the outside looking in.
Right.
But I think one thing that shows Hackworth's kind of care for his players and his involvement in the team is he's been at every City 2 game I've gone to.
Yep.
Playoff, non-playoff, he's always there. He's in the locker room. I've asked him questions at City 2 games before, off record,
Hmm.
and he talks about these players in such a good light because he knows them. And I think the community that they have in the locker room right now is solid. He's talked about in post game press conferences. He's talked about he doesn't single out players. He doesn't say this is what this player did this wrong or this player did this great. It's always as a unit. It says we did this, they did that. I think that sense of community is really important. And we can talk all we want, but the decision comes down to Lutz and the people around him, and they said that's going to be soon. It's around the corner.
Yeah, it
They've
looks
said.
like they.
Hopefully it is.
I can definitely appreciate that from that they actually are moving swiftly on decisions, just like the roster moves. The
Yeah.
season was over, they made those choices. I know coach decision probably a little harder, especially that Hack was doing other roles. So I guess that will
Yeah.
kind of trickle down. It's not just if he's the coach, then we're good. It's if he's the coach, then who's going to be the director of coaching? And
Yeah.
for me, with the players, you can definitely see that it's not like he had to come in and build the trust because he already has it. And you
Hmm.
can see a lot of the players that are, like, we'll say Watts, for example, he literally changed positions because Hack asked him and showed him how to. Because he was not a
Yeah.
right back, he was a he's a midfielder. But when
Yeah.
the time came to be back to a midfielder, he was back on it and actually
Yeah.
produced too. So I think
Yeah.
it's one of those
It,
double-edged sword where it's like he's the coach, everybody will be happy. He's the director of coaching, everybody will be happy because he's still here. It's ever-ending cycle. Looks like it's not an easy one.
yeah.
I don't.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I think Akil Watson, players that can do what their coaches ask, like Jose Kojima, he played
Yeah.
right back for City 2 a bunch of games. I think that's a great quality in a player. If we look at other sports like Tommy Edman for the Dodgers right now, former Cardinal,
Right.
he plays almost every position in the game except for pitcher and catcher, right? He does whatever he needs for the team to win. And I think that's the type of player you need.
Mm.
And I think Akil Watson, Jose Kojima kind of show that perfectly, in my opinion. Also, guys like Chris Durkin. I think he said himself that he cheats up too much offensively. He wants to score goals, but if they need him to drop back to be almost like a fifth defenseman, he does that. He did that against Seattle. I think we see this a lot, and that's the kind of players you need. That's the kind of players you need on this team, on any team, really.
Oh yeah, if you can have 5 players that are willing to play multiple positions, you're winning.
Yeah, you can mix and match, and you can trust a right back to go score, and you can trust a striker to go play defense if you need it. It's kind of like I'm trying to think. Man City's kind of strategy.
Yeah,
The last couple minutes, we've seen Vancouver take a lot more possession. It's 50-50 now, possession wise.
But they have not gone to the second half of
They haven't.
LAFC though.
It's really been, yeah.
Yeah, so keeping
It's been kind of
that
just
much
pass back,
possession
pass
is like,
back.
it's the whole tiki taka. But if you don't create a chance out of those 200 passes, it's worthless.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And if the way I see those passes to LAFC here, don't look like too much of a rush as well, unless that's part of their. Because they literally just did 5 passes, Buhanga and Burgers together.
I'll be interested what the post game pressers like for these head coaches. I'll definitely be tuning into that to see what that's like. Because that gives you a preview of the rest of the series, in my opinion. LAFC looks like they're doing like they have the cone set up and they're practicing before the game.
That's why it
They're
looked
doing
like
yeah.
They were playing rondo. That's pretty much what they were doing right there. But that's a bad foul right there.
Can't take that at the end. +5 is I thought it'd be a little less. I think +3.
Yeah, a foul right outside the box. That's not smart.
Yeah. Now you're giving Vancouver a chance to. I mean, again, this is like you're saying you're opening the door for Vancouver. That's a mistake they just made.
Yep.
Vancouver capitalizes. Then what do? You just made a mistake, and now they're going to score if they do.
5 minutes additional time.
Yeah. Vancouver's only gotten better over the time in the half, I think. This +5 minutes is good for them because it gives them 5 more minutes to try to score before half, and I think that's, what they needed.
So let's see. Let's see what kind of... And scoring at right before the end will be in... Oh!
Just missed.
Upper 90. Just missed the 90.
All right, I got 10 seconds. Here we go. Let me react to this. Let's see it. Off the left foot. Oh my goodness. It's off the connection of the post. Okay. It's a counterattack, maybe. It's like, I don't know. It's what's the present. Here we go. I mean, Vancouver, if they can possess the ball more, that's going to be their... Oh my goodness. You can't make that mistake. You cannot make that mistake. In this game, in this spot, in this area, you can't make that mistake at all. No.
Yeah, but it was useless because it ended with a very awful soft pass.
That reminded me of like Pee-wee football or like Pee-wee soccer, right? Like everyone's crowding the ball and they just want to be the goal scorer and they're just like, I'm going to try to keep it and then go around this guy. And then they lose the ball. I think that was kind of a selfish play
Oh,
by
that's
the
the worst
by
one
LAFC
ever.
there.
Yeah, yeah. I guess haven't seen it as well. I get they're redoing the replay.
Mm.
I don't know if it's my. Is it Apple TV that's flickering? Interesting.
Is your stream going off?
Oh, so now it's back now. I'm at
Okay.
48:05, but it looks like there was some flickering.
I'm at 47:40.
So how is that possible that I'm interesting?
I'm gonna try to sign into Apple to see if Apple's a little faster.
So yeah, because I'm on Apple TV.
Yeah, I'm on just my regular streaming service to see if that's. I'm on FS1 right now. That's why it's not working as well.
I'm wondering if FS1 has a slight delay because of, I guess, being national.
Something.
So yeah, not showing much of a rush now. So while we're watching the playoffs, so have you completed the bracket and who do you have first going to the final and then winning it all?
Okay. My prediction is I got Cincinnati.
Okay.
Okay, I'm talking. This is semifinals. Semifinals. Okay, Cincinnati, Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the West, I think it'll be RSL and I see LAFC doing really good. I think RSL LAFC makes the most sense to me. I think it'll be Real Salt Lake versus Miami. I think Miami wins.
Nice. Wow. I think your bracket looks very different than most of the experts that I've seen put, but they almost all had the usual suspect.
Yeah, I think. I mean, don't get me wrong. Columbus could go far too. Columbus could
Okay.
go far. That's very, very possible.
I so I think I still have Miami to win it all, unfortunately. But I'm thinking probably LAFC versus Miami at the final. And
Mm.
unfortunately for LAFC, they might have to get rid of their coach after that. But I think it will be another
Isn't
trophy
it
lost.
crazy how the criteria for firing your coach is not winning the championship? That's so foreign to City fans right now. Our criteria for firing our coach was blowing a 3-1 lead. Like that is so foreign to me. That's crazy.
I'm a Chelsea fan, so I'm used to that because I even have coaches that won something the previous year and then were not doing so well and then still got fired. Ancelotti was one
That's
of them, and
yeah.
clearly we see what he's doing. Uh, but yes, I think the reaction that I've seen when Carnell, for me, was a surprise because I thought it was more of a end of season that probably was going to happen.
I agree.
But also just knowing how Lutz and Diego works and the high expectations they have put upon themselves to for City to be the team in the Western Conference. So I was
Yeah.
not really surprised on that part because they still had hope to make the playoff and there was still a slight chance to make the playoff. Um,
Yeah.
and knowing that Lutz was also very close to Carnell or is very close to Carnell, so I do know that that decision was not made easily because I'm sure they
Yeah.
will talk after the season's over or hang out. So I'm sure that, but you could tell it was straight business, and it was
Yeah.
the circumstances. Is like, yes, we know injuries, maybe some injuries may have been prevented, but a lot of them are just injuries, part of the game, the pressure from the team. You're at the bottom, you're not playing well. There's games that we tied that we should have won.
Yeah.
So it was like the perfect storm of this season is not going well whatsoever, and you're a victim of your success from the year before.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
also the pictures that during the playoffs, when we started last year's playoff, we weren't doing so well either. We
Yeah.
just crash and burn in the playoff, and then it continued throughout the season. So it was not just a hey, 5, 6 games we lost, you're fired. It was
Yeah.
almost added from last year going towards now.
Yeah. So what was the surprise to me was that Lutz saying if we didn't blow that lead, we wouldn't have fired him. That I think you don't see that a lot in sports. You don't see usually it's preconceived. I think usually it's like even if this person won this game, we were still gonna fire him. You know, I think the fact that it bounced on one game was a little iffy for me. I didn't
Hmm.
expect that part, but I mean, I think he saw it coming. I saw it coming. I think the fans wanted it to happen per se.
Yeah,
They were
some.
very
Yeah.
mad. I mean, because this fan base was used to them being, the fairy tale team. They're them being the team of destiny last year, right?
Yeah.
And then they lose in the playoffs, and then they start off the year bad, and they're like, okay, where was the stuff we were doing last year? So they're upset with it. Um, I know I kind of was not very happy about the sluggish start,
Right.
but I mean, I think a lot of people had a hunch per se.
Uh, yeah, but I think also one thing that maybe outside of the fans, we still had to also remember that all majority of the team in the West last year that weren't doing too well, like LA Galaxy, just went and spent money on 8, 9, 10, 12, $15 million players. So they
Yeah,
understood the assignment as of last year was bad. We have to come back, and that's what happens. So it was like a
yeah,
accumulation of a lot of things that made this season not what it was. Because you
yeah,
can't
for
really say,
sure.
hey, CD, you've brought in 3 players, $5 million, and then LA
Yeah,
Galaxy brings Paint Steel for 8 or whatever 10. It's like
yeah,
there's a huge difference. So we caught them at a bad season when we were on fire. No one knew about 99% of our players. But
mhm,
teams do their job and do their homework, and that's what happens. It's just now the job of the coach and staffing to then do their homework about the other teams and see how you can beat them at their own game as well. And
for sure.
it's year two, so LA Galaxy had decades to do it. But it looks like
Yeah,
Kick a Ball Pod looks like they will have Mikina on their podcast very soon,
that's sick. That's awesome.
and we have also plans to have a quick podcast meeting with these guys too. So, I don't know if you
That's
know
awesome.
about them. They do a lot of interviews with college and semi-pro players as well. So,
Hmm.
if you check them out, they do have some very good interviews with good college players, but also pros. And they do have a Fritz, if you recall, he played for CD2 and now he plays for Northwestern.
Hmm.
He also was one on their, you know, Northwestern U.S. youth soccer, and I think he was freshman of the year. I think he's first year. So
Podcast.
these guys are good.
What was the name of the podcast?
Kick a ball pod, all one word. And
Okay,
unfortunately, they
I'll
said
check it
we
out for
beat
sure.
both their LAFC too, and the town was is their team, home team. So
Oof, that's not fun.
we're I'm glad they're
Sorry.
not too mad that they're still joining.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so it's halftime.
Yes,
I want to go through some stats. I'm the stat guy. Let's
shoot
do
me.
it.
Go ahead.
All right. So here's some of the main stats we see. People who don't watch soccer will understand these. 51% possession for LAFC. All right. Kind of surprising. LAFC loves to possess the ball. They majority of the games that they won, they possessed the ball more than 50%, more than 60% actually. And the Vancouver Whitecaps are known as kind of a counterpunch team. So it's kind of surprising to me. The expected goals is 1.3 for LAFC because they did have the penalty. The expected goals for Vancouver is 0.8. 0.80, which makes sense because the two woodwork shots, 9 total shots for LAFC compared to Vancouver's 8, 3 shots on target for LAFC compared to only 1 for Vancouver, which is kind of rough. 230 passes and 85% passing for LA, 220 passes and 85% passing for Vancouver, so it's kind of even there. Vancouver's committed 4 less fouls. Both teams have had 2 corner, and the best player right now is from LAFC.
Yeah, right.
And LAFC has.
It helps when you
Yeah,
score PKs, right?
that's true. Very true. So honestly, I would expect my prediction for the second half. I would expect more of the same, right? I would expect a little bit. I would say out the gate, I would expect possession from LAFC, right? I think they'll possess the ball and kind of hold it for a while. But I think Vancouver will have chances. If they can capitalize on those chances, then they might win. They might tie. They might go to Ben's. You never know. But I think it really comes down again, like I said earlier. If LAFC allows them to have those chances, then that's the problem, right? If they don't, then I don't see Vancouver having a chance.
Yeah, and if I was Vancouver at this time, knowing that the amount of goals does not matter and you're already losing, wouldn't you just go all out and see what happens?
Oh, 100%. You throw stuff at the wall until it sticks.
Right. Yeah, because at this point, you lost. And it only
Yeah.
considered as a loss, so you might as well just
Yeah, you got nothing to lose
hope.
now,
No.
right?
And so let's take a look. So yeah, so he will have me keen on that. All right. So yeah, so I guess a little bit more about yourself. So is there any other projects now that City and well, I guess City is on the break. City 2 is practicing now for the next game. Any special
Uh-huh.
project you have you want to talk about?
So, I mean, I'm looking into internships right now. I have a couple that could be lined up. I'm not sure with that. Just trying to get experience from anybody I can. I mean, I'm trying to intake as much advice as I can while I'm here because I think I'm very fresh and on the scene still.
Yeah.
Um, and I have a lot of years to learn, right? I have a lot of things to learn, and I think any way I can learn those things is great. Uh, press wise, not a ton. I mean, I've been covering my high school football team. Just one homecoming game. Shout out UCD Lions. Let's go. Clap it
Nice.
up. Clap it up. All right. Sorry.
Hey,
So
you gotta rep
doing that
your school.
for sure. But I think yeah, there's not a ton of stuff right now. Just looking forward to next season for City, but because a lot of the like major sports leagues and college sports are 18 and up for media passes. But yeah, no, I think any way I can, just get involved and get my name out there, I think that's big for me because it's not about, again, the reason I do this stuff is the people that got me into sports, right?
Yeah.
Sports has been a constant in my life for 15 years, as long as I've been alive, right? And it's helped me through so many things in my life. It's I can have a horrible day, right? Come home, there's any sports on, I don't care. Could be women's volleyball in college, could be curling, right? It could be football, it could be soccer, it could be baseball, hockey. It doesn't matter to me because the unknown of sports. Everyone in the world could bet on one team, and that doesn't mean that team's gonna win.
Yep.
I think that's what I love so much, and the people that got me into sports are the people that that were broadcasting. Dan McLaughlin with the Cardinals, John Kelly with the Blues, and these guys got me through so much of my life, and I kind of want to do that for other people. I know that sports has been such an integral part of my life, and I kind of want to do that I want to do that for the younger generation. So any way I can help people through anything in their life with maybe they have a tough day and they're watching sports, and if I'm commentating, maybe I give them a laugh, or maybe they're like, this was a good commentator, or maybe they get a laugh because this guy sucked. Any way that I can maybe just help people out in maybe the most significant or insignificant way, I think that's my goal, truly.
Yeah, doing a great job. You have coaches that are expecting for you to give them stats, so it's a
I
great
appreciate
start.
it.
And we'll definitely get you in contact because we do have a great community, especially in the MLS. I don't know about the others, but um, definitely people that can kind of give you a few tips on where to go, how to,
100%.
or the
For
same
sure.
people that welcome me much
Yeah.
later on in life. So yes, much,
I
much.
mean, honestly, city's been so amazing with this. I mean, I started off. I told you this earlier. I signed up for woodworking class as my elective in high school, and the woodworking teacher retired, and they put me in interjournalism. If that didn't happen, none of this would be here, right? I'm just trying to be thankful for what I have. It's amazing that I can do the stuff I'm doing right now. Um, but yeah, I think I'm just very very thankful because Cash and John could have just said, no,
Too
we're
young.
gonna
Yeah.
deny this kid. We're not gonna take a risk on this high school kid. We're not gonna take a risk on this freshman at the time, right? I
Hmm.
applied when I was a freshman,
Right.
and they said no. They said no. We're gonna give this kid a chance, and we're gonna see what he got. And I'm so thankful for them doing that. I think that open mindedness is amazing. Because if I was in their position, I probably would have said no to myself. If
Ah,
I
come
saw a
on.
freshman coming into media, I don't know. It's risky, and I think I love that they are so welcoming, and the community has been amazing. I've done things I didn't think I could ever do right when I started, and it's just been amazing. It's been great for sure,
Yeah, perfect, perfect. But yeah, so keep it up. You started early, so that certainly helps.
for sure.
So it looks like we're watching. I guess just the normal LAFC advertisement, but it looks like they're coming back. I
I'm
don't know.
still a
So this
commercial.
game's been quite interesting, um,
It has been.
but not too much too flashy just yet. I would have I expected it probably a little bit more fire, knowing that
Yeah.
LAFC is a high scoring team. Vancouver is technically a high scoring team too, but I guess I've not
Another
seen
thing,
just that back and forth yet.
yeah. Another thing that I think it's important to point out is the median age for Vancouver is 27, right? Median age for LAFC is 30, and I mean Whitecaps is a much younger team. They're not the youngest in the league by any margin. I think City's up there, honestly. I think by age, I'll have to check that in a bit, but I think it shows that Vancouver is gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to do something special. They have to do something that we're talking about next week, talking about next month. They're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to do. Have to have a great shot. Make a great pass. Not foul too much. Make a great save. Do something that can propel their team because it's all momentum. Everything about this game is momentum, especially in the playoffs. If you believe and you're rolling, compared to another team that's ice cold, I mean, you see it 9 out of 10 times that team that's rolling is going to win that game, right?
Yep, and
And I think if they can get rolling, I think they have a really good chance.
yeah, pretty much all they need with that game is just find what they did well. That
Yeah,
I guess this current game and then implement that for the next two. Since I
yeah,
guess they'll have two more tries to.
possibly, yeah. I mean, like you said, they have nothing to lose.
Yeah, just
Truly
go
have
on.
nothing to lose. You got to go all out. You got to go for it. What minute are you on? I'm on 45.
46.
Okay, I'm at 45:50 right now. Still a little bit behind.
Let's take a look. Yeah, so it's 46. It looks like Farmob is at 46.33. So
Yep.
someone needs to work on those times. And it looks like also they've made no substitution at halftime. So looks
Yep.
like both coaches are happy about their current lineup.
Yeah, we'll see. I expect some late subs from both teams. That's my guess. I think we'll see a lot of the sub windows used.
Yeah, so they're both 4-3-2-1,
Yeah.
4-3-3.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought
Yeah,
that
like I said,
LA would have been more of a diamond shape than having.
same here. That's what they've gone with all season, and they kind of switched it up here. I wonder if they had something in the scouting report that showed that the diamond, the non-diamond shape, the 4-4-3,
Okay, so
worked
typically
better.
it's a diamond. Okay.
Yeah, little different this time.
I don't know. And I guess there's a lot of people also that have been talking about like the crowd to a lot of these playoffs. I'm a little surprised on how just looking at the crowd in LA for a playoff game, it looks a little empty.
It's a little empty. Yeah, you're right. Well, in
Which is
LA, there's a
disappointing.
lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it is kind of disappointing. The supporter section's always crazy. That's
Oh
true
yes,
for
they're
any team.
untouchable, but it's
But
like it's
I
playoffs
mean,
though.
you have literally at the circle, there's empty seats, empty rows. And there, to be fair, the World Series is in full swing, which is a little bit bigger than the MLS first round of the playoffs.
Right. Sure.
Honestly, but I think, yeah, I mean, you got to be. Come on,
Yeah, it's the
I
playoff.
think
I mean,
it's the playoffs. You gotta have something like that.
uh, so I guess it will be LA, then going back to Vancouver, and if needed be, then it's back to LA.
I think that is correct. Yeah. Because remember that's how it was with City. They lost the first game at home, and then they lost the last game at Kansas City. Not too far of a travel. Luckily, both these teams are on the western side of the continent. So
Yeah, I totally erased what happened that time.
yeah. Wait, I mean, what game? I don't remember.
Exactly.
Exactly. That was a tough pill to swallow,
Oh yeah, we were
especially
there.
against KC. Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, it happened. Can't do anything else against it.
we were right behind that
Yeah.
bench, and you could hear a pin needle, pin
Oh
just
yeah.
dropping.
Yeah.
And I think the
No.
funny part, we had, I think maybe 4 rows behind, there was some Sporting KC fans with big old smile on their face. But yeah,
That would be the most annoying thing to me, because we're all somber and they're happy. Come on,
yeah, they were.
that's
Oh yes,
infuriating.
big old smile from the second row all the way down to out the stadium.
That's unfortunate. My internet's being weird right now. Stream cut off.
Oh, it happened to me yesterday. I think I had to reset twice. Apple TV.
I'm connected. This is weird.
What?
Yeah, it's saying
Actually,
no internet, but I have connection. This is weird. See if I can get this figured out.
I have a feeling that if it remains 1-0, Vancouver can go home and feel pretty good about it, that result.
Yeah, to an extent. To an extent, for sure. Because you're the underdog. You're the underdog. This team is on paper better than you. I think if they can put up a fight in this last half, if they can get those chances, I think they'll be a little bit happier. But it depends.
Yeah, but it does not look like they want to go. Oh, maybe not. getting his goal, is getting his frustration known. And when your best player is this upset, it's never a good look. It looks like we may have lost Charlie for a little bit, so we'll just keep the ball rolling. And for those of you that are still in the chat section, let me know. Do you expect LA to add another goal or two? Do you expect Vancouver to come back? I think LAFC will add one more before the end of the game. Oh, it looks like Magic Johnson is in the house watching. Alright, having a little internet issue, but he'll be right back. So, fortunately, you guys are stuck with me for a little bit longer. Alright, 53 minutes. Still 1-0 LAFC, penalty from Buanga. Alright, let's see what we have now. LAFC man. Alright, so it looks like Vancouver still have the ball, is still trying to find a way to break the LAFC defense. But it doesn't help when you're stuck at your half. Yes, so it looks like Vancouver is still, a little bit of that tiki-taka, but without any forward movement or chances at all. Let's see if LAFC, man. Alright, I'll be right back. Of course, they have to score as I walk away. Why am I not surprised? 2-0 LAFC. Alright, so that was a Buonga pass. Giroud, Tillman, Bogus, top bin. Oh, you put some figures on it. You should have stopped that. Ooh. All right, let's try that again. Maybe I'll see, come back again and there will be another goal. All right, I'm back, and I did not help LAFC score another one, so it was just like. All right, so now knowing that LAFC is now leading 2-0 and Vancouver have nothing to lose, so all they have. Oh, you Buonga. No. Is that Crossbar? Oh, that was lucky. Vancouver got lucky. They almost dropped to 3-0. That was extremely lucky. Very lucky. All right, 60th minute, 2-0 LAFC. Things are getting very interesting. Ooh, that's a bad tackle. Trying to break the Omen Jiro already? Ooh. All right, and also thank you all for joining. So make sure you like, subscribe, and follow to Mo Football TV, but also Mo Football Podcast TV, as we'll be having a lot more interviews, watch-alongs, but not only of the MLS, but EPL and other leagues around the world, including CAF, which is the African Cup of Nations, and any tournaments that comes our way will be either have a watch along or live stream, or someone from that team staff join us and tell us a little bit more about their teams. So make sure you subscribe and also hit that notification bell. It's easy, just press a button. All right, let's see. Ball right back to, ooh, body check, Buanga, and just wasted it. Pas très bon, pas très bon. Back heel? No way. All right, chat. Go ahead and put notifications. Looks like Berhalter's coming in. Man, that's not even fair when you go and you have to put the age less player we all know as Kamara to come in for Giroud. It's not even fair. All right, so Giroud is done for the day. Kamara coming in. Maybe add a little bit more speed to it. Can't really say youth because he's older than him. Oh, is it a little different to play from the back? Oh, Vancouver on there. No. Ball wasted. Cross it, dude. And into the bleachers. That's not what I meant by shoot it, but hey. So let's see all the fun stats. All right, so it still looks like that LAFC has 51 possession versus 49, which sounds about right. All right, it's good in the box. Is he gonna turn? No chance. And Bogus fouls him as they try to get out. So they're having a little discussion. All right, so he might still on be right back. Oh, I was about to say. Looks like YouTube have a little bit of that fancy delayed. Oh, here you go. We're back. Uh-oh, looks like we might have someone back. All right, so let's bring him back. Oh, and it looks like boxing, but I think we still have to get him out of jail by allowing him to talk. Right? What just happened? Can you hear me? But I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I sure can.
Okay, I had the wrong microphone on. My bad. All right, I'm back.
All
I was
right.
mad at the internet. My internet went out. I had to restart my computer. I apologize.
No
Of
problem. You
course,
can.
I missed the goal.
Yes, you have. But also, is I think I said I'll be right back, and then they scored as well. So I don't think.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, but hey,
Two
it was not.
yellows and one.
It was not our team that scored. So
Yeah,
oh well.
Vancouver trying to hold on to a last chance maybe here. 20 minutes left in regulation.
I guess yeah, pretty much just save face.
They just looked kind of dull, really. Haven't really been explosive as you saw against Portland. Of course, they didn't score 5 goals yet, but they really need someone to give them a spark right now. They don't have that spark. I don't know if they'll win this game or even become close.
Now they just. It's one of those things where I think it's probably a shot that's very close on target, or actually
This
score.
game, this game could very well. I mean, if the wind wasn't different, maybe this game could be 2-2 because they hit the post twice, right? Vancouver has had the chances in the first half. In the second half, not as much. But you got to create the chances. The chances
Well,
aren't. You got to bank on yourself making those chances instead of LA making mistakes. I said this before.
yeah, or else they would have scored and then went on a low block or whatever, and then not allowed
Mm-hmm.
LAFC to score.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to finish.
Yeah.
And
So that was City a lot early in the season. You had chances, you just didn't finish in the final third. Okay, here we go. Cross in, deflected out.
A lot of
I'm in the
times.
72nd minute now.
Yeah, I'm on
About 72 on the dot.
72 and 25, I guess. I'll say that.
Okay, about the same. About the same as last time. They're cycling again because LAFC has done an amazing job. They'll have a corner here.
Shoot it? Oh.
LAFC has done an amazing job at keeping them from going directly into the goal. Right? Vancouver has to have had to cycle it around and put risky crosses in that have just been deflected out every time. Right? They're not getting straight into there. They don't have the guys that can dribble past their defenders. They've done a really, really good job protecting that outer shell of the 18-yard box.
Yeah, and they're resolving. I don't know that foul that might. That might.
Oh yeah,
VR
spike up.
Might have to call that back because that's studs work.
I think that's a red.
Showing.
That should be a red.
Yeah. If he's not
studs up, you can't do that.
VR's, I'm sure they're telling him, but
let's say
yellow
this.
is
Look at this
soft.
replay here.
La
yeah,
Porta.
studs up. It's very, very. I mean, it's tough. I would say it's a red, but do they think it's enough to overturn it to a red?
Yeah, I think he may have been saved by that first yellow, but
yeah,
it looks like Bogus was already gone when he put his studs up. That's how he got the back of the trailing heel.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think if he would have been closer, he would have actually been able to extend his leg and hit the back of the LAFC player's leg, but he kind of just clipped him per se. It's still very painful, still not allowed. He'll probably be a little bit more cautious now.
Yep. Oh, he got lucky.
He's being challenged right away now. Right on that left side. Ooh, miscommunication there. Okay, Vancouver again. They're making them take indirect paths into the final third, and that's how you win soccer games. You got to make the other team feel uncomfortable. Got to make the other team feel like they're trying not to lose instead of trying to win. There's a difference. You're trying not to lose. You feel like you're trying not to make mistakes instead of taking the chances you have.
And you make that
ball's
extra
barely
pass
out right there.
It looks like a close up of Vela. I guess he finally will.
He'll be coming in, maybe. We'll see. Cameras tell a different story than the head coach does.
Yes. I don't remember when I've seen Vela play.
Yeah.
I think a few minutes cameo, but doesn't say much.
No. Again, I'll say this. Early in the game, the back line for LAFC was horrible. They were letting in everything, right? But they've really done much better now. Again, two of their guys are rated above average in FOTMOB now compared to the one. And another one's a 6.9, which is 0.1 away. Compared to Vancouver, who only has one player in their back line with a positive FOTMOB rating, which is just kind of indicative that they've just been subpar, truly.
Yeah, or probably not as challenged on his side.
The best place, if I was the head coach for Vancouver right now, and I'm coming out of the locker room about 25 minutes ago, I'm telling my team, go after O'Brien on the right side, okay? O'Brien has the worst rating of the midfielders so far.
Yep.
Don't go Tillman's way. Okay? Go to O'Brien and cut into Long, because Long already has a yellow. You can challenge him. He'll be more conservative. So if he can go up that right wing and then cut into the channel, you can have maybe a good opportunity there, but they just haven't tried that. They haven't had a set play. They've just been kind of going, throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks, and nothing's stuck so far.
Yeah, and clearly Buanga will not be playing defense, so that pretty much gives you two options before you get to Lloris. So
Yeah, we kind of saw that right there, honestly. They were going up the left side. They kind of cut in. Of course, the ball was about 50 feet from the net, but, you can polish that part off. Missing the net by about 50 feet.
Far. Yeah.
It is what it is.
I don't know. I have not seen a playoff game just yet. One that you will call it a playoff game per se.
This just felt like just domination. The scoreboard might not be indicative like the domination that Vancouver had over Portland. Again, 5-0 victory, but this has just been clear that LAFC has controlled the pace and they've controlled the game in every facet.
Yeah.
So far.
Oh.
They're the ones that have been setting the pace and setting the precedent for what the game's going to be like, especially early. No handball call there. That was odd. Are they saying advantage or are they saying no handball? Because it was definitely a handball. Guys got
those ping pong handballs.
Yeah, guys running into each other now. No call. Here comes Vancouver. Okay, this is what I see. Up the right side. That's what I'm saying. Cross in. Couldn't get it. No, that right side is where you can make a play happen. I'm telling you. Oh, it's a foul.
Yeah, but Halter, I didn't know he had it in him, but okay.
Went over the top. But did a front flip right there.
Kamara just laughed about it.
Yeah.
But it looks like
that's dangerous, though.
Brian White looks like he was on fire against Portland, but looks like he has not done enough. Now he's out today for the rest of the game.
Yeah. 6.4 FOT mob rating. Let me check his individual stats real quick. Ryan White. 0.43 expected goals, so he's kind of just not taking the chances he needed. One shot all game. Subpar at best. That's not what you need out of your striker. You need something. Again, like if he has a better performance, this game is so much different. And because the chances of winning, hold on, let me.
And Gall as well has not been the one that everybody was praising, like against the Portland game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just talking on probability, the team that wins the first game is a 75% chance to win if it was a coin flip, right? So it's still like, okay, I it's different in MLS because you have to come back, but just talking like percentage wise, it's tough to come back from that, especially the way Vancouver's played. It hasn't been convincing. They have not convinced me that they can run with and compete with this team right now. All I've seen is that they've just been dominated in every facet, and that they really haven't, how do I say? Or sorry, brain fart. They haven't. Jesus Christ, they haven't.
It's late.
Pounced. They haven't pounced on their chances, right?
Right. Yeah,
and
they're not
against
playing.
Portland.
They're not playing like their score does not matter.
Yeah.
But LA is. Eli now is coming in.
They're playing with a pep in the step. I mean, LA's midfield and defense is much, much better than Portland's defense. So it's definitely a huge difference.
And now putting a little bit more experience on.
Okay, you got 2 subs coming in. See if this makes a difference. Maybe too little too late, as there's only 10 minutes of regulation left.
Yeah, it looks like the for the midfield, now LAFC just put more senior experienced players.
Yeah, that's what you need. Just hold the line here. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Vancouver.
No, it's not. Hasn't been looking good for them since the 20th minute. Second half possession has, again, been 50-50. but it hasn't felt that way. Vancouver's possession has been pass back, pass sideways. They've been accurate passing sideways and passing back because that's easy.
Yep.
You're just kicking straight to your teammate. When you're getting contested passes, it's much harder to be consistently good at those. They haven't had any big plays. They haven't had one pass with like, oh my goodness, this is a huge chance. Like they just tried a second ago, and it just got cleared away. That's what they've tried to do it a couple times, and it's just being denied every time. It's almost like they're just saying, here, you have possession this time. Your turn. Yeah, I mean, it's been tough for Vancouver. Cross in. That cross was very indicative of the night that Vancouver has had.
So just cross it straight to the goal kick.
Straight out of bounds. Is that Will Ferrell?
Awesome. Sure is.
Love Elf. One of my favorite holiday movies. Elf.
Oh yeah, we watched it probably a dozen times.
Oh yeah, come on.
So yes. And he's
spaghetti
even
and spaghetti
fan.
Maple syrup. Spaghetti maple syrup. I'm telling you.
Have not tried it and probably not, but yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, no, I would never try it. Also, The Grinch, one of my top Christmas movies. Also.
Yep. And it's one of those things that make what LAFC is, and I guess they can spend that type of money because they do have, multiple billionaires and millionaires.
It's Los Angeles, yeah,
to help fund their new.
It's a big market.
Yes.
New York and LA and Chicago will always be big market teams, no matter what, because more people, more revenue. More people means, on average, more millionaires and billionaires because there's more people. There's a higher chance of like revenue from like stores and stuff because there's a higher consumer base. But like those are always going to be big market teams, right? And it's rare you see. It's surprising that Columbus had such a great year recently, and it's kind of amazing that like
sure, even Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. I mean, come on. But these mid-market teams really have a tough time. Like Vancouver, this is just a skill difference. This is half strategy, but half LAFC's players on paper and on the pitch are just better in every facet.
Yeah.
The only thing that might be,
and it's on the bench too.
Vancouver, yeah, the depth that comes really handy come playoff time because these guys have played 29 or 27 games, I forget, in the MLS season.
Yeah, it looks like Elias literally had the ball for 15 seconds and no one touched him until.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. These guys are playing 34 matches, right, in a season. Maybe not all of them are playing every match, but these guys are worn out. They're tired. So you got to have guys on the bench that can be depth pieces, that can come in and be reliable, that you can lean on if you need to come, October and early November, because that's just what you need.
They just go and sub in Carlos Vela. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Having him as a sub is crazy.
As a super sub, yeah, it's not normal.
Yeah. And honestly, the only thing that I can say that Vancouver's been better at is passes sideways and backwards. That's the only thing that I've seen them be better at. And it's tough because you're always going to be playing from behind in this type of thing. Vancouver actually has more possession now, but I guarantee you, if you in the second half and in 51% in the full game, I guarantee you, if you watch this back, the highlights, you're not going to see a lot of big plays from Vancouver. The supporter section's very happy about that sub.
Oh yeah, that's one of their goats. Because there's always that discussion if he's like a goat or a legend.
Yeah.
This guy was living his best life for a long time, and then he just had, I'll come back.
Yeah.
And then he has a great cross. Just needed a better header. Oh, let's see the counter. Yeah, nothing.
What's really smart I like because Miami. Okay, by trade, Miami is a large market team, right? But instead of shelling out like billions of dollars, like the Saudi league could have paid Messi, and they did pay Ronaldo, right?
Right.
Um, they just gave him equity in the team. They gave him like ownership. So whenever the team makes money, because he's on the team, and that's a huge, huge money grab, right? That's a huge. You're gonna make a lot of money because Messi's on your team. So he's making money for being himself,
Yep.
and that's crazy. It's so smart. These teams like the Dodgers with Shohei Ohtani, they're paying him $1 this year. They're deferring the rest of his contract of $70 million a year for the last 10 years, right?
Yep.
So they're trying to, the GMs are finding new ways to pay players more while staying under salary caps and their restrictions. It's going to eventually, these players are going to be making more than the owners, which I agree with. These players are the reason we're watching these sports. We're not watching the owners play.
No. And yeah, and I think Dodgers is also Todd Boehly that owns Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he's been doing those 10-year, I think like 7, 8, 9, 10-year contracts.
Yeah.
And the EPL was having issues with it. They were looking into, put a cap. I think after that, they're starting to put like 5 years. But it was a loophole that they found, and they were able to sign all of these players before it was sort of closed. But
I mean, this is the GMs, because I'll say this: everything in history is repeated, right? We have precedent for almost everything. So these GMs know the way it goes. They know the way it works. But now it's how creative can we get to outdo the other 29 GMs in whatever league, It's how creative can we get to get a step ahead.
yeah, and sometimes it's just bite the bullet afterward.
Yeah, 100%. You rarely see like a win-win trade with GMs. The only one I can think of is when the Blues traded Ryan O'Reilly to get Ryan O'Reilly,
Right.
but they, sent away a guy named Tage Thompson, who is now a really good young guy in the Sabres, but the Blues got a Stanley Cup win out of it. It's a win-win.
Yep,
right?
that's definitely
The Blues got what they wanted, the Sabres got what they wanted. And you rarely see that. You rarely see it pan out like that. Vancouver, LA right now is just doing the let me fall down real quick with the ball. they're wasting time. They're waiting.
Well saving. You're at home, so you're going home straight after the game.
I doubt a lot of these guys are pretty sore. I doubt it. For LA. I feel like it's been a physical game, but not to the point of like bruises. I feel like they're gonna one day of physical therapy, you're good. It's been a complete game. LAFC is now pitching themselves to all of MLS and soccer fans to be like, okay, we're legit. Because this is a great performance, whether it be against Vancouver or any other team. This was a very solid game they've played.
Yeah, wow, you just shot out a team that scored 5 not long ago.
Yeah. I mean, that's defensively, they've been great. I mean, you have a clean sheet for the time being, at least. Knock on wood. But yeah, you have, I mean, the front has been amazing. The Vancouver's had to foul almost every player to stop them from scoring. The midfield has been amazing because, like I said, there's only been one route for Vancouver to even try offensively, which is the right channel, right? And they haven't done that. They've done that once. So they've just played a complete game of soccer, and they're making a case for why people should respect them for sure.
Ooh, crossbar.
Spoilers. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oops.
No, you're good. I'm joking.
LAFC is the best team. Final should be Miami, LAFC, Galaxy in a game to decide the MLS Championship. So
I agree.
I'll agree with that. Maybe not Charlie fully, right?
I would okay, to kind of like go off of that. I think New York is on a different level compared to Miami and LA right now. I think LA and Miami are kind of like up here, and maybe New York's down here a little bit, with Columbus and maybe New York Red Bull.
Right.
But I personally, I would like to see kind of the playoff situation kind of switch up a little bit. Maybe we see like the MLS Next Pro, we see penalties come in, we see creativity. or we see like, single elimination games. I'm a fan of that idea because we've already talked about there's so many changes going on, right? They're gonna switch. They're talking about switching the season from fall to spring instead of spring to fall after the World Cup
Yeah. So how do you
in
feel about that
2026.
part?
I like it. I'm for it. I think it's especially in the winter months for Vancouver, it's gonna be tough. I mean, they're indoors,
Right.
but some of these teams that like Seattle, they play outdoors. Colorado, they play outdoors. I think it could be a problem come like winter time,
Yeah,
but
but I
I
did.
am for.
Wasn't it for like Montreal or another team at the beginning of the season? They actually played, I guess, their first 2 or 3 games away,
Mhm,
which kind of
we
took
did.
almost 3 or 4 weeks of that
It's true.
winter time, and then they came back and then had, you know, a few
Yeah.
of those home games for them. That way, that could
Yeah.
alleviate some of them. Hey, we're in
I'll
St.
say this.
Louis. We'll get a taste of
Either
that cold
way,
weather.
either way, you're gonna have extreme weather on both sides, right?
Right.
You're gonna have heat breaks for summer. You're gonna have the cooling breaks. You're gonna have warming breaks in the winter. There's gonna be a mix. But I do agree that these guys, the top players like Mackay Joyner, could be a World Cup player come 2026. You never know. He's already has experience with the men's national team. So would we want to take him away from his season with City if he's still with City or whatever teams he's with in the MLS if he's there? No,
Oh,
you want
City
him.
will
You want
keep
you
him.
want your best guys out there, and you want your best guys at their best ability, right? And I think that there is a way to have both at the same time, right? Um, like the NHL takes a break during the Olympics for the Winter Olympics, right? They take a 2 week break, so some of the
Which makes sense.
players
Yeah.
are still gone. It makes sense. But I think with the World Cups, it's a little longer. I agree. I think I would like it to be in the winter months, in the spring months, but I think the way to combat that would be just not to start it in the fall, but to start it earlier in the winter,
Mhm.
like maybe late January. Hear me out, because if you started then playoff, you would maybe see the playoffs being in like we would see the finals happening right now, right?
Oh man, oh man. Uh-oh. I won't spoil that.
Vancouver.
I'll give you a few
No, that's cool.
seconds.
I'm watching Vancouver cross in. Got his man. Oh, he scores. Okay,
And it's
trying to get
goal.
something here. They're hurrying up. They're going. They're going. Okay, that's something. That's something. I think LAFC was sleeping right there.
Eh,
LAFC, where they like you can see the keeper is saying, "Come on, guys, what are we done? We caught him sleeping.
yeah,
Is it going to
and
be enough?
2-0.
No, it's not,
I don't know if it's gonna be enough, but 2-0 is always that one that yeah, and he
dude. I
Loris couldn't
jinxed
do
it.
anything because it went between two of his defenders.
I talked about a clean sheet. I jinxed it.
Yeah.
I totally did. I knocked on wood even, and it didn't work.
Hey,
Jeez.
2-0 is one of the worst score line
Yeah,
you can have when you have time
yeah,
left.
it's true. No, I think this will give Vancouver something to go off of. You say, let's just do what we
That we
did
can score.
late last game. But yeah, I mean, you know now, LAFC is not invincible. You've cracked, you've gotten through the crack a little
Right.
bit, right? Uh, but I think you're gonna have to play really good next week. You're gonna have to play really, really good. And do I think they will? I, I don't think they'll play good enough to win. No.
Let's see.
All right. See one more chance potentially.
Yeah, you have to dump it. What are you
LAFC.
waiting for?
I take it. No, and there's a quick foul.
And that's it. That's all she wrote. 2-1
Final whistle.
LAFC. So they're going for
77%
BMO
of
Stadium
people
to
were
BMO
correct.
Stadium, right?
Yes, they will. They'll be in Vancouver on the turf.
Oh, that's gonna be over. That's gonna suck.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
definitely gonna take a toll on the goalies. Thanks for having me on. It was a great game. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. I got school
all
tomorrow.
right. Yeah, so everyone,
Thank you so much.
make sure you follow him at CB Could you go ahead and just give them your handle on
Yeah.
Twitter?
So my Twitter is CB, or it's my last name then my first name, which is Bilyeu, and then Charlie, just spelled the normal way, CHARLIE. But yeah, CB. If you look up CB, it'll usually come up.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me on, Mo. I appreciate it.
Anytime,
Have a good one,
anytime.
man.
And everybody, make sure you like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And
Of course.
there'll be a lot more interviews coming up very soon. And there's a big one that's will release in about 2 weeks. So make sure you hit that notification button, and we'll go from there. And hope you have a good night. And we'll